It's yet another exciting episode on our delicacy show. Today we are going to continue with our local themed cuisine, and we are going to be preparing a common meal amongst the Kisii people, which is beef matoke served with a mix of kienyeji boga and pineapple juice. I'm your host and chef, John Thuita. Our menu today, as I have said, is matoke beef stew. We have our matoke. There's a difference between matoke and the normal bananas that we know. Bananas are ripe, but matokes are not ripe. They are unripe bananas, and they are mostly common in the Kisii land. It's going to be served, or rather cooked together with the beef stew. This is a starch. We need a protein, and today we are going to be using beef stew. You can also opt to do peanuts. Our matoke beef stew will be composed of matoke, which is unripe bananas, very common amongst the Kisii people in Kisii land. It's going to have beef. We are going to have kienyeji mboga, which is a mixture of spinach, terere, managu, and we've already branched it. Branching is lightly boiling it and then cutting it. It makes cooking it very easy. We're also going to make juice, which is going to be made up of pineapple and mango. So we are going to begin with preparing our matoke. And what we do, matoke usually have a very sticky fluid. And for you to avoid that from sticking in your hands, you're supposed to first oil your hands with just some bit of oil. Then you oil your bananas. This is going to avoid the sticky fluid that comes from the unripe bananas from sticking in your hands. Then we are going to cut the top part as we place them back. Another point that I've not talked about is we're supposed, there are two ways of preparing your matoke. You can either boil them with the skin on top, or you can remove the skin. That's another thing. So either way. But once you remove your skin, it becomes very easy. So you remove all the parts, and you ensure every part is well oiled. You need a smaller knife for this. So the oil helps to avoid the sticky part from sticking in your hands. Most people don't love that. So once you've oiled your bananas, it's very easy for you to peel them. Then you're just going to cut them into halves. Do this in all the bananas. So if you find the process very tiring, you can just boil the bananas without peeling them. Then once they are cooked, you're going to unpeel them. But for this case, because you're cooking them together with the beef, you must unpeel them. But if you're just boiling them and they are served wholly without any other meal, you just boil together with the leaves, and then you're going to peel them once they are done. So once we are done with peeling the bananas, we are going to lightly boil them. They usually take about 10 minutes to be ready. So we are going to lightly boil them for about 5 minutes, since we are going to finish them off when we are preparing the beef stew. So once we are done with preparing our matoke, they are fully made. We are going to take a sufuria, small one. We put them in. Add some water. Season a bit with some salt. Then we are going to boil them for just 5 minutes and they are done. So as our matoke is boiling, the next thing that we're going to do is prepare our beef. And as always, beef must always be marinated if you want to feel the taste. So our marination is very simple. We are going to combine beef together with a mixture of garlic and ginger paste, just a bit of it. We have our soy sauce. It gives the beef some color and also adds taste. Then for those people who love pepper in food, you're going to put in some bits of pepper, which is very optional. And our marination is done. The next thing is to mix. Once you're done with the marination, the meat is ready to get cooking. There it is. It looks amazing. You can already feel the aroma of the garlic and the ginger and also the soy sauce as they are mixing in together. So once we are done with that, we are going to start working on our beef. So there's one point that we need to understand. We've not boiled our. All right. There's one point that we need to understand. There are different ways of preparing our beef. You can opt to boil the beef, or rather you can opt to first make the marination, then lightly cook it in a pan, then you're going to finish it off. And that is the process that I usually love because it gives the beef time to mix, or rather to fuse with the marination that you have, and you're able to identify each and every flavor as you take in it. So we've already marinated our beef. Our pan is set. Our oil is now hot. We are going to continue with putting some bit of onions. Be generous with the onion. The more the onion, the better the stew. So we are also going to add some bit of ginger and garlic. Remember we marinated our beef, but with a bit of it. So just a bit. So as our onions are cooking, we are also going to add some curry. This is to help in flavoring the meat. You just need a bit, not too much. So we are doing this to add flavor to our meat. The more the more the spices you combine, the right spices for that matter, the sweeter your beef is going to be. So our spices, we are just using ginger and garlic. We're also using pepper. We're also using some curry powder, and that is all. So our onions are already cooking. We want them nice and brown. So ensure they are nice and brown. That takes around 2 to 3 minutes, and they are good to go. Once the onions are done, we are going to add tomato. All right, so now our tomatoes are fully cooked, and now we are going to add our marinated beef. And stir. Once it's fully mixed, you add just some bit of water. Stir again. And give it time now to cook. We are doing these, then we are going to now finish off by combining the beef and the matoke. Our matoke is boiling, as we can see. It's almost done. We said matoke takes around 5 minutes. So that is done. We are now going to, as we wait for the beef to keep cooking, we are going to prepare our kienyeji mix. Now, this is our mboga. It is a mixture of terere, a mixture of spinach, a mixture of managu, and kunde. As we wait for the matoke and the beef to be done, we are taking a quick breather. See you shortly.